There are pains that healers cannot heal, scars that refuse to heal, and wounds that don't bleed, but that rot the soul. The story I'm going to tell you was passed down in the shadows of huts, by dying fires, where the elders speak quietly. It wasn't a wound. It was a curse in disguise. Kajo wasn't a bad man, but he wanted it all: wealth, respect, land, and above all, to be seen, admired, feared. He grew up in the small village of Tiale, near the Red Forest, where rain only falls when the dead decide it should. Kajo had made his mark through cunning, trade, and sometimes betrayal. He despised the elders and their warnings. He laughed at taboos. And when his wife gave birth to a mute child, he declared, "I will not nourish a being who cannot sing my praises." He abandoned them both and married a young girl from the city. One day, during one of his trips to sell ivory, Kajo came across an old woman lying in the dust, knocked over by his caravan. She was bleeding. No one stopped, except him. Not out of kindness, no, but because she was wearing an ancient gold necklace, sacred beads of the Ndaga people. He helped her up, caressed her as one would trick prey, then beat her, stripped her, and abandoned her in the brambles. Returning home that evening, he felt a burn on his arm, a tiny scratch like an insect bite. Nothing alarming. But this wound never healed. Days passed. Kajo began to scratch himself, then to scream in his sleep. He felt his arm betray him, become cold as wet wood, then hot as embers. One morning, he discovers that the wound has taken the shape of an eye, living eye, watching him from its own skin. He consults the doctors. None understand. The healers flee after seeing the arm. An elder tells him, trembling, "It's not a wound, it's a door. And something has already come through it." The village begins to avoid him. Animals flee his shadow. Children fall ill when they approach him. One night, in a dream, the old woman reappears. But this time, her eyes shine like two red moons. She whispers to him, "You took my flesh. Take your spirit. Every day, this arm will remind you of what you truly are. A hollow man, a man eaten away by his own actions." When he wakes up, Kajo no longer speaks. He hears voices, and sometimes he no longer controls his hand. Rumors circulate. They say the arm strangled one of his children in the night, that Kajo cries black tears, that his skin peels off like burnt bark. One evening, he burns down his own house with himself inside. But the arm doesn't burn. They say an apprentice healer found him in the ashes, still alive, and that he buried him alone at the edge of the Red Forest, where the dead whisper to those who never listen. It wasn't an injury. It was the weight of his actions that had taken shape. For there are pains that no doctor can heal, pains inflicted not on the body, but on the memory of the living. Kajo's curse wasn't divine punishment. It was the exact reflection of his own cruelty, etched in his flesh. So, the next time you hurt someone no one sees, ask yourself if it isn't your own skin that will bear the memory. For the most powerful curses don't fall from the sky. They are born from our own hands. And if you believe this story is a legend, ask the elders of Tiale. But do it before sunset. Subscribe if you want more dark tales from the Forgotten Lands. Give a thumbs up if this story made your blood run cold. And above all, don't look at your arm tonight.